Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to another week of online art class. I hope you guys are doing well. Just keep at it. It is tough. I'm going to share a Bible verse with you. Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. Galatians chapter 6, verse 2. And the reason I like to share this Bible verse with you is because each one of us is burdened with our own problems. But God asks us to think about things and people beyond ourselves. Let's see, who can you think about? Your parents? Your teachers? The doctors? Or the nurses at the hospital? So during this week, take time out and pray for them. Let's take a look at some of the artwork that was submitted. First, we have Marcus' picture from 3Cs. Now, Marcus, you did a good job with filling in the colors and also putting in all the subject matters. And I really like the details on the boats. However, obviously you have here, I think you're trying to have the paraglider closest to us, so it should really be bigger. And I have one question for you, which is the boat closest to the hot air balloon. It seems like it's just floating in the air because there's not a lot of blue around it. So I recommend you move the horizon line all the way up to the small boat near the top to include it back in the water. Next, we have lilies. Now, lilies have included all the object that I taught, which is really good. However, this page is still quite empty in a sense that, well, we see the boat, the pirate boat being closest to us, but it is the same size as the lighthouse. So it doesn't give us that illusion that it's very close. So I would suggest for this particular picture is to increase the size of the pirate boat or the lighthouse. Next, we have Esther's. Now, Esther has tried to make the pirate boat larger compared to the raft, which is good. However, the position of the pirate boat is in the middle, in the same level as the raft. So we can see that it doesn't give a really full perspective of the boat being closest, the pirate boat closest to us. So if you move that boat closer to the bottom, it would give more depth to the picture. Now, Abby's picture, I've shown you two of her picture. You can see the one on the left is her first one, where she, all the subjects were all very, very small. And then with her second one, she experimented a little bit more by increasing the size of the lighthouse and really using the same size raft, but it's really small, it's really far away. So this one really worked in that sense. The lighthouse is big, it's at the bottom of the page, and the raft is in the middle of the page and is smaller. So great job. I like the way you really moved those pieces around. Now this one is Cyril. Cyril, you did a really good job. I like the way you did the pirate boat, the raft, and all the hot air balloon. The hot air balloon, the little one, you really gave it some really good perspective because it's so small you cannot see the line. It's just the shape. So when I look at it, I know, wow, that one's so far away. So good job of the hot air balloon. Next, we have Yanni's. And I really like this picture because the paraglider is falling off the page. It's flying so far away. I really like that. You're just thinking outside of the paper. So we also have Jonathan. Jonathan did a really excellent job in manipulating the size and the positions of the objects. So the first one on the left, you can see, I think he's trying to show us the lighthouse is the biggest. However, you can see the one on the left side with the hot air balloon. You can't quite tell which one is closest to us. But in his second picture, where the pirate boat is closest, and then you can see the lighthouse being further away and smaller. So we can see that it's giving us the impression that it is further away. So great job, Jonathan. So we're going to be talking about perspective. And how are we going to do that? Let's take a look at some pictures. So here we have some light post or electric post. And you can see that as it goes further away, it is smaller. Even though in real life, if we look at it, it will be the same size. But in a picture, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. If you look at the cherries now the first cherry is huge, it's big. Where is it on the page? It's near the bottom of the page, and it's big. Then we go further and further back. We also notice less detail as we go further and further higher on the page. It's only like a red blur after a while. So you can see that with the illusion of going further and further away, we see less detail and the shapes is all blurry. Here, this is a picture I took probably on Saturday of the clouds outside my home. I was looking at the clouds and how it gets smaller and smaller and smaller as I look further and further and further away until it's all just blurred into one cloud. But I know if I travel further and further out, I will see the cloud as big. But because I'm looking far away, then the illusion is that it just gets blurred together. So what are you going to do today? Over the last 2 lessons, you learn how to draw 3 types of boats. So there's the fishing boat, the pirate boat, and the raft. So you're going to be working on that. You also learn how to draw a lighthouse and 2 flying objects, a hot air balloon and a paraglider. So what you are going to do is you're going to make a composition similar to this one that you see. There is the same type of boat, 3 pirate boats, and 1 lighthouse, and a background. Now you will notice the boats are all in 3 different sizes. Even though they're the same styles, they're in 3 different sizes. You are going to take a piece of A4 paper, fold it in half, and you are going to fill that space with the pirate boat or whatever boat that you are doing. Then you are going to fill out the background of the boat, then cut it out just like here. You can see the configuration of how I had my pirate boat on my A4 paper. Then you are going to take another piece of paper, fill out the background with wax crayons. I use blue and I use yellow as the sunrise. You can fill the whole page with just ocean. You can do night sky, so that's up to you. But you notice my horizon is very, very high up on the page because I want to include all my boats in there. So here is 2 examples of what your picture might look like. And in this assignment, we are learning to create an ocean scene and to use size and position of objects to illustrate depth. What I am looking for? I am looking for objects that fill the page. Also, I'll be looking for 3 boats, 1 lighthouse to complete the composition. So watch the video for the demonstration, and if you have any question, please email me. Have a good week! We are going to begin by drawing the 3 boats in different sizes. So the first boat is going to be about half of your page. We're going to fold your paper in half. Now I'm going to show you how to draw the boat because I know some of you are drawing boats and then cutting them out, which is what we're going to do. But we see this white background behind the boat, which we don't want. So to include the blue background in the boat, that is what we're going to do. We're going to start off drawing the boat. Actually, in fact, we're going to draw the boats first. So here's my pirate boat. Now, you notice I am filling out the page. I reach from one edge to almost one edge to the next. Because I notice some of your boats are quite small. Now, we are going to leave the bottom line empty. And the reason for that is we're going to be adding water to it. And we don't necessarily see a line. We're going to put blue here, maybe make a little wave. So I pick brown as my color. And the reason is my boat is going to be made out of wood And I like to use brown to represent that. So you have to be brave and draw some really nice large lines. Here we go. Okay, and I'm gonna do my flag out here. Add a little detail here. Maybe some circles here for them to look out of. Okay, so here's my first boat, which is the largest boat, which takes half a piece of paper. Then we're gonna turn your paper around, and if you look at this is a portrait. We're gonna do half the portrait for the next boat. So I'm gonna do the same boat. So my half is about here. You can make it, actually we're gonna make it 1/8 of the paper. We're gonna fold it, and we're gonna fold it one more time. We're gonna make 3 boats in 3 different sizes. So I'm gonna take this spot for my next boat. Here we go. Actually, maybe I'll do it here. You can see it easier. Okay, my boat. And so now you should become an expert of the boat that you're drawing. Maybe they can have different color sail to show different team, I guess. There you go. There's my second boat. And then, remember, we're not drawing this line because we are going to put ocean in that. Now, the last boat. Remember, the last boat will be the smallest boat. So you find the next, this really tiny one. We're going to make that into 4. Then we're going to draw a boat about this size. Very small. So I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to give myself a line so I know approximately how small I'm drawing. Now, because this is a smaller boat, I might not have as much details. They're much smaller. And here we go. I'm making smaller lines. You might want to sharpen a pencil for this little one. Here we go. Last one. My circle for the windows. All right, so there it is. I have my very large boat, my medium-sized boat, and my very, very small boat. Now, a lot of you were cutting your boats out just like this, almost like a circle, which is fine. But when you paste it on your background, you're going to see white between the sails. So what I'm going to show you is how to fill in the background. So you'll fill in your boat just like you would. Now I am going to allow you or suggest that you use a wax crayon because it's a little bit faster. If you use pencil, you still can use pencil, but it just takes longer. So I'm going to use my crayons. Just going to do it quickly. All right, so now that I have finished coloring my boat, I left these white intentionally because sails are normally white. we're going to add some blue background around here, these spaces. And we're going to use, I would like to see you use a wax crayon. But if you don't have wax crayon, you can use color pencil, but it will take longer. So if you have wax crayon, it will be faster. If not, you can always use your color pencils. So you can, I will show you both ways. Use the edge, the side of your crayon. I'm just gonna lightly rub. Now you see how I am, where my blue is meeting the boat, I don't have a solid line. It's just colors that's going around the boat. Plus you don't really see the bottom of the boat when it is in the ocean. There we go. All right, and between the sail, you can do it this way, make it long. Then you use the tip of the crayons and go around very carefully, very lightly, because we're trying to make an ocean scene and we don't really need to have a lot of lines. So I'm just going over it very lightly. All right, so here it is. I have my boat. Now what about here? This is like a railing at the back of the pirate boat. So these little gaps should be blue. You can take a pencil and go over it very carefully. But if you don't, you're gonna take some of the brown and it'll make it murky. So try to avoid the brown as much as you can. That way you have a nice clean blue to show. It's like railing. So there's your first boat. What you're going to do is you can then cut it out and paste it to your background. Now I have these boats here that you can color afterwards. So I'm going to show you how to do the background. So for the background, you're going to take a white piece of paper. Remember, we're going to have a big boat, a medium-sized boat, and a small boat to show the distance that the boat's going further and further and further back. So we are going to use a wax crayon, if you have, and you think, okay, where's my horizon line? Do I want it down here? Do I want it over here? Now remember, if I have a horizon line here, my boat cannot be above the horizon line, but it can be below the horizon line or partially in below the horizon line. The sail can still be above the horizon line, but if you have the whole thing above the horizon line, then it looks like your boat is in the air, which doesn't make sense. So what we're going to do is I'm going to create my horizon line here. I think just like this. I'm going to go with my crayons. You know, if you have some cool texture that around your house, you can do some cool rubbings, but that's up to you. All right, so here's my horizon line. And now I can think, oh, I want blue skies. Well, if I have blue sky and a blue ocean, I'm not going to be able to see the horizon line. So you have to think, if you would like to have a blue sky, you might have to think of a slightly different color for the ocean. So here, when I have a blue ocean, see, my line at the top is not a real line per se, but just, you know, it doesn't have to have a very clean line. There you go. There's my line, there's my ocean. Now if we look, if I put my boat here, it's floating. But if I put my boat here, it's out of the water. We want it in the water. It's okay if it's like this. It's okay if it's inside. Because, you know, if you look at the ocean is around the boat. You can have it here, you can have it here, you can have it here, here, even here. So anywhere along here. So how about the sky? I'm gonna do a sunset just like I did last time. Now a sunrise, if you want to do sunset, you can use a much darker blue or even a little bit of purple. But I'm gonna go with my sunrise, which is, because I like sunrise because it creates a very nice contrast. The yellow really complements the blue. So again, I'm gonna go here at the top, like this. can even put a little blue in the ocean, because get shimmers of light. There it is. So here is my background. It's all covered. The whole paper is covered. Now I take out my boat, my sailboat. I'm going to finish coloring my sailboat. So now I have 3 sailboat all colored in. It's time to cut them out. I'm going to use my special scissors. I'm going to tell you a little bit something about this pair of scissors. This pair of scissors was given to me from my dad in high school. So when I was 14, he bought me this pair of scissors, and I still have it. It's very cool. So here we go. So now when we're cutting it out, you can go all the way to the edge of the boat like this and cut. There's my 3 boat. 1, 2, and 3. Woohoo. Let's put it on our background and see what it looks like. Here's my background. Boat, boat, and boat. So, does it make sense for me to have a little boat here and a little big boat at the back? Probably not. So I'm going to keep my boat here at the bottom. my little boat in up there. Oh, you know, I did not draw my boat in a different direction. That's okay. So here's my boat. Now, let's say, oh, I want this one to be up here or this one to be up here. It's okay. We can snip, snip, cut a little bit more to reveal some of the horizon line. That's okay. But you have to be very good at cutting. You can cut it out carefully. You can cut around the flag. Now, finally, we created, I taught you how to draw a lighthouse last week as well. So we're going to put a lighthouse in here as well. How are we going to do that? You will see. Take this off. Ta-da, there's my boat. A little bit out of the, part of it's out of the water. If this is too much and you want to lower it, all you have to do, cut some of this off, and there you have it. So now I have 3 sailboats. The one that's the smallest is the furthest away. The one that's closest to me is the biggest. So there it is. Now we're going to add a lighthouse. So you can choose now. Would you like your lighthouse to be in the foreground? Then it will be really big right here. If you would like a lighthouse that is further away, you would put it in the corner, here or here. You know, probably not here, because if you put it at the bottom, then it won't, the picture won't make sense. It'll be too small. So if you want it close by, you make your lighthouse nice and large, and it's okay if it covers part of the picture. So, you know, if I have this extra piece of paper left, I can have my lighthouse like here or here, but wait, I'll have it like this. So my lighthouse will be here. Maybe I can have part of the mountain. Just have to visualize, and this boat will be behind, or I can have a small lighthouse. I think I'm gonna go with a small lighthouse here. So, like we did last week, we will draw a lighthouse and cut it out. All right, so here we go. Here's my tiny lighthouse so far. There we go. And I can have, ooh, what if I had my little boat here coming in front? There's my big one, my fleet of pirate boats. There we go. Ta-da. So there is our composition. Now, this week, there's a lot of coloring and there's a lot of drawing. I would like you to spend approximately 45 minutes on your artwork. Take a picture at the end of 45 minutes, and then we will see where we're at, and I might give you an extension of this lesson. But let's see where you're at after 45 minutes of working at it. Again, if you have any question, please feel free to email me, which some of you have, which is great. Have a great day.